Okay, so today I'm going to be making a collage using only the papers that are in my digital downloads on Patreon. I've got also just a couple of charcoal pencils here. These are really nice. I like these. Medium's my favorite medium. I've got a little bit on my palette off to the side here. I've got some Naphthol red light and my own mix of white, which I call not quite white, which has some warm and cool yellows in there to just change that. And oh, can't forget this. This is special. This is a sample pot of house paint. I love this. This is Glidden Epic, and it's absolutely the best one that I've found for making drips, and I love drips. So I can't seem to get my artist paints to be the right consistency exactly to drip all the time and to have to mix them. So these pots of house paint, they're like $5 each, and I just love them. Okay, let's get started. We've got a blank white sketchbook page here, always a little bit intimidating, but you know, something to be afraid of. There's like no pressure here whatsoever. Even if I was working on a big canvas or whatever, there's no pressure because you can always paint over it. You can always sand it back. You can change it somehow. I'm gonna get this. Oh, that was that. I usually, when I work on my sketchbook, I like to put a sheet of either tracing paper or baking paper, both of which I use for colored paper, underneath just to protect the edges and so that it doesn't drip onto the next page and through the sketchbook. Okay, so where to start? Well, since I don't know where to start, I'm just going to make some marks. I don't know what this is. And I'm going to put some charcoal over here. And there we go. That's some marks. Now I have to respond to that. And that's obviously, it's charcoal, it's first layer. It's probably going to go away. It's definitely going to smear when I do this. Oh, where's a brush? Gotta get a brush now. Take a brush for my dirty stash of brushes. I have brushes in this sludge over here, which I know it sounds disgusting, but it just makes all my work harmonized when I use sludgy brushes, so that's what I do. And I'm just going to put some white on top of that. I didn't like that so much. And I like the way that the charcoal smears when the paint goes on top of it. And I also like to play with my fingers a lot, so I'm just going to blend that out there. That, and then I'm just going to put one really clean white bit across this, but thin, so the charcoal shows through, but it hasn't smudged too much. No idea what that's going to do for me, but we'll find out in a minute. Because I've got the Naphthol red over here, I'm going to throw some of that in. But then I'm going to go and use my fingers again because I don't like those brush marks. My fingers always look like this. It's not a good thing. Okay, now, as I said, I'm only using papers from my digital design collection, and I think probably this one is my favorite. I love this paper. And this was actually an old bag that I ripped up. I showed it in a previous video, and patched together on the scanner. And which side did I use? I used that side, and patched together on the scanner and scanned it, and then I changed it in Photoshop, and I came up with this, and I really like this. So I'm just going to take a big pad of it, and I'm going to, that's way too big. And the beauty of this is I can use this paper again and again because I've got a digital copy and I can print it off more than once. Okay, now also going to get another sheet of that lovely tracing paper over here, just to use for gluing things on. Now, what I'm using to put things into my journal today is Liquitex Gloss Medium and water mixed. I like them both. I like to get the paper really, really wet, really super wet. You can see the gloss medium and water soaking into the paper there. And then take that and paste it in. I kind of want it to be up in this corner. I'm not going to be too precious about it though. And then get another sheet of paper. Should have this in advance. Put that on top there. Get my trusty catalyst wedge. Sees a lot of use, this thing. And just smooth it out as best as I can. Good push. Okay, first move's made. And what else have I got here? I've got, this is also one of my digital downloads, and I think I want like a nice, I don't know, maybe like a really rough circle of this. I can't actually cut a circle, that's not physically possible for me, but I can do this thing, which is kind of cool. And I'm going to paste this. This one down here. A little bit more. That wasn't wet enough, see? This and my wedge. And you notice I haven't bothered letting paint dry. I'm not going to worry about that. That's just going to stress me out if I have to think, oh, is it dry yet? Is it dry yet? No, it's not going to happen. So I'm working in my sketchbook. There is no pressure. There is some bit of a mess there. I'll just dab it up. Now when I work, I throw out as little as possible. I'm worried about environmental impacts of acrylic paints and everything going in the garbage, and you can see that I really mean that. Like this is a shop towel that I've been using for a couple of months now. And I've got a stack of them here, and I just wash them and reuse them until they're really so crinkled up and like in a hard ball that I can't do anything with them. So I do that. Okay, I need something darker now, and I'd like maybe something with a color. So I'm gonna maybe cut out one of these little stamps. I've got these little vintage postage stamps, sort of. And I wish I had been printed on a transparent background. Sometimes I print on tissue paper, which is a little bit tricky, but I'll do another demo on that in the future. And printing on the tissue paper means that the ink that gets printed, so you can have like a transparent design, and where there's no printing, the tissue paper pretty much disappears. So I'm just going to cut this out. It's not going to be perfect, but perfection is highly overrated, at least in my world. Okay, so now I've got this little stamp. These were, I think they were like postcard stamps or something. Really soak that one. And that one seems like it was from Portland, Maine. Or some Portland somewhere. I'm just going to use my finger on this one. You don't need the catalyst wedge, it just makes it easier for the bigger pieces. Okay, so I've got this now. What am I going to do? I need something. It's pretty boring at this point. Maybe I'll just use, I don't want too much more pattern, but I'll just put some of this in at the top. I need to fill in some space. No, that's too much. And again, if I need more of this paper, just have to print out more. It's easy. There should be no pressure, no worry. I don't want those to touch. I'm gonna have to take it over here. It's kind of a bit outside the bounds of my sketch paper, but who cares, really? The one thing I will say about the inkjet printed papers is that they can bleed. they might bleed. So the best thing you can do before using them, I haven't sprayed these because I don't have good ventilation in here, and it's, I don't know, -10 or something, and I'm not going outside to spray. So the best thing you can do is spray it with a fixative, some sort of a fixative. Any workable fixative is fine. It's fine. If you're concerned about aerosol sprays, you can get something called Spectrafix, which is based on casein, component of milk, so it's natural, and it comes in a pump bottle. The only problem that I find with that is that I don't know, the spray bottle, the pump, it seems to come out in big globs rather than in a really fine spray, so it's a little bit hard to use. So I'm going to put some more paint in here, in sort of a pinky color. That's too pink. You know what? That's too pink, and I want some yellow to go with it. So I'm going to get some bent. Okay. Extra points for whoever can read that. It's benzimidazolone. Benzimidazolone yellow. Benzie yellow medium. Benzie, that's what I'm using. Just put a drop of that on there. I want to make more of a peachy color. Again with the wedge, I'm going to pull this up and out. And then I'm going to cover this area down here because I don't like it. I just want it, I don't want to move it, I just want to get rid of the brush marks, so I'm going to use that to smooth it out. You can see I'm working on my desk here. I just use my desk to clean off my tools all the time. I've got it covered in watercolor paper. I'll pick them up and reuse them somehow, someday. I need a dark. I need something dark, and it's just way too pink at this point. Dark. Oh, that's kind of crazy. Let's go crazy. Notice this one's coming up. I think I actually forgot, I just used my wet brush that was sitting in water. I forgot to put the gloss medium on it, so I'm going to put a bit more underneath there. And then I'm going to take this much of this, just that much. Get it good and wet with the gloss medium in water. Smack that puppy right down there. It's good, you can see a little bit of the bleed happening here that I was talking about. Okay, and I've got a little bit more up here, so I'm gonna add a dab here. So you can either paint the paper with gloss medium, or you can just paint your page and slap the paper onto it. I really prefer painting the paper. Gives you a little bit more control over where it's going. What else? I'm gonna go back to my charcoal pencil. Is that the soft one? And I'm gonna just roughly draw a line through over the papers. Mess that one up. Through paint and out again, because I just wanted something. I don't know. Let's see. Get rid of this. Looks a little bit too contrived. I'm just going to get rid of a bit of it. And you notice I'm putting collage paper on top of collage paper, and collage paper on top of paint, and paint on top of collage paper, and I don't really care. None of that matters. None of it. It's all just layers. I love layers and layers and layers of things. Didn't mix this very well in the palette, so I've got this nice streaky paint here, and I kind of like that. Kind of like that paint. Don't like it, but I want that there. There we go. get smaller brush and a bit of the not quite white and just or nice and thick, make it opaque. And the middle looks a bit empty. I don't know what I'm going to do there. What am I going to do with the middle to make it look not so empty? I'm going to take a little bit more of this, my favorite, oops, got more than one fail happening here today. Look at that. Again, sketchbook, play, don't care. Okay, let me just get some. Let's stand down now. That is not going to move. Except where it did. Stuff happens, you know? You just go with it. Okay, I'm getting this one. I'm going to take the darker section of it here. Actually, I like the bit with the black line on it too. That was actually for the edge of one piece of paper, not the other, and there's a shadow. Just going to put that in. Make sure this piece is soaking so it doesn't come up like the other one. Okay, so we've got a start of something here. I don't know that we're going to have anything good come out of it at all, but it's a start and it's a bit of fun. It was all done with my digital downloads, which I'm so happy to be able to do that. And you know what, if I want more of this paper, I just print more, so it's really great. I'm going to put more of this green stuff up here. More stripes, more stripes. Soak that thing. Put it right here. Yep, that's a good spot. I need another dark. So you can see I'm a messy artist, and I like it. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to do is get some water. So actually I'll get some of this gloss medium and water. Mix it in with my white paint. And I can't resist a really good toothbrush. Cap that off there. Okay, that's it. My collage using digital papers, acrylic paint, and a little bit of charcoal pencil. Thanks. I can't believe I forgot my drips, and I made such a point of talking about the house paint at the beginning, so here we go. I've got this Glidden Epic paint. I love this stuff. Now the dark color I have found is a little bit thicker, and I don't know whether that's because the dark base is thicker than the light base or whether there's so much pigment in this dark color. So the other day when I found it just a little bit too thick, I poured a bit of gloss medium and water into it, and that made it just the right consistency for my drips, which are about to come in from the top. Oh, I love that. Oh man. Just, you know, drips are my jam. That's my jam.